The biggest mistake that you can make with your credit card is to make the minimum payment. And wait, let me explain. And I'm not talking about paying off your credit card each month, because of course that is a healthy thing to do. I'm talking about using your credit card to buy a bunch of stuff, and then whenever your bill comes in, you make just the minimum payment on your entire balance. But why is this such a bad thing, you may ask? You see, making the minimum payment on your credit card balance saves you the trouble of having a bad standing with credit card lenders. As you may or may not know, 35% of your overall credit score is dictated by credit history and on-time payments. It is, as the name states, the minimum payment that you can make to technically not miss a payment. Doing so is what prevents your credit score from being hit from sometimes 100 points at a time. But it also can sometimes leave your credit card balance with a lot of money waiting to be paid off. And that is the real issue. Any money that is left unpaid in this current billing cycle that rolls over to the next billing cycle will begin to collect what is called interest. Interest rates can vary, but you're looking on average in the US at about a 22% APR on all of balances that are left over unpaid after a month. Now let's illustrate why this can be so detrimental to your actual financial state as a whole. Say you open a brand new credit card and you spend $1,000. It's not too bad. You have an overall credit limit of $3,000, so you're only technically using 33% of it. But that doesn't matter, because at the end of the billing cycle, you get your bill, it's $1,000, and you decide to only make the minimum payment. Now, the minimum payment typically can range from either a percentage of like 2 to 3% or about like $25 to $30, depending on your lender. For example, I have these two credit cards from Capital One here, and you can see they're different balances, but both of them have the same minimum payment of $25. Now back to the example with the $1,000 that you spent. If you go and only make the minimum payment of, let's say, $25, you still have $975, which is going to start accruing interest. And let's use the example of 22% APR. That is on average adding about $18 to your overall bill. So even if you don't spend a single dime on this credit card for the rest of its life cycle, you're going to be paying $25. It's going to add on $18 to your bill. And you can see where this is an issue, because you are making the minimum payment. You're not hitting your credit score, but more than half of what payment that you are making isn't even going to the original $1,000 you spent. It's going to interest. The bank is taking your money and just saying, thank you, have a nice day. And at this rate, if you're only paying that minimum balance, it is going to literally take forever to pay off the original $1,000 that you spent. Now, I am no financial advisor, but I am a guy who over the last few years has collected 7 different credit cards and has never paid a single dime of interest on any one of them throughout my entire time. And doing so has led me to not only build my credit score to an excellent level, but it keeps me knowing that what I'm paying is actually what I'm paying, and I'm not paying for extra money that is unnecessary. And if you guys have been watching this channel for a while, that you know that the number one thing that I stress with credit cards is that you are not spending outside of your natural spending habits. This way you are always ensuring that you are able to pay off each balance on time and in full, never having to worry about interest. And if you are new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you do enjoy. I do appreciate all of the support, and it lets me know to keep making content just like this. I don't know if there is an official name for this process, but I like to call it interest bait, where lenders bait you into making just the minimum payment, and they're making you think that you're being responsible and safe, when actually they're just waiting for you to reel you in and force you to pay more than you have to so that they can profit, and then you unknowingly are just paying more than you have to. Like, yeah, technically you're not missing any payments, but that interest will add up quickly if you don't catch it early on. And on that, did you know that 48% of Americans are in some sort of credit card debt? Whether that could be just a little bit or whether that could be a lot of it. And I can't dictate whether or not interest bait is what's leading most of these Americans to be in some sort of credit card debt. But I can say for 100% certainty that especially new people going into the credit card space aren't really taught what to do and what not to do. And they may see that they're making the minimum payment and they don't realize that they are gonna overall just spend a lot more than they need to. And this could lead them down a path of overspending and then not realizing the consequences until next thing you know, they're paying hundreds of dollars of interest when they only spent a certain amount of money. And it adds up. To avoid paying any sort of interest at all, you need to make sure that you pay off the statement balance on time and in full in its entirety. And the way that I personally have been able to avoid paying any sort of interest within the last few years is by always ensuring that I'm never spending with a credit card what I can't afford to pay off instantly with my debit card. Sometimes I don't even wait for the billing cycle to happen. I just buy something with my credit card, then pay it off instantly or maybe even a day later. That way I don't have to worry about accidentally missing a payment. Doing this practice makes sure that you never overspend more than you can afford, because you never know. You may be thinking that you're able to manage all of your finances and all of your spending on your different credit cards, but life can happen. Like for me, last week I had to get 2 new back tires because my tires were going bald. And it can be pretty pricey. And then if I wasn't able to manage my finances in a way, something unexpected like that can easily add up if you're already paying lots of interest on things that weren't unexpected that you could control. Now, managing one credit card in this way is one thing, but when it comes to managing multiple credit cards, I know it can be a lot. So I recommend you check out this video next, where I talk about how to manage multiple credit cards and making sure that you're not paying any interest when you have a balance on multiple cards at the same time. But yeah, make sure you leave a like if you enjoyed the video today. I do appreciate you guys watching. And with that, I'll see you in the next one.